today I wanted to show how I make a service dog vest. I'm gonna go from how I cut out the panels to how I sew it all together. I'm not gonna show the embroidering just because I already stitched out some vests. It kind of takes a lot longer. I might add that as a different video, and also my embroidery machine is in the shop being serviced right now, so I can't really show you that even if I wanted to. It looks kind of like a disaster right now. I have a vest. This is an order that I need to finish up. It's already cut out and everything, so I was just going to show you what it will look like once it's finished, kind of what it will look like. I have another vest here that is already stitched out. There's a lot of threads that need to be trimmed. It still has the backing from embroidery machine, so I'll have to tear that off. It is a capybara themed vest, and this one I'm actually selling. So if anyone decides they want it after watching this video, let me know and I will let you know the price. So this one I'm going to show you how I cut out the panels. The shops on Etsy, or you can even create your own, print it out just on paper. But this one, I believe it's from Bully Boutique. I just bought it and then I printed out and I cut it to the size that I want it. They have lots of different shapes or sizes in there, as you can see, with all the different colors. I think this one is a 16-inch panel. I wrote on the back so I know. You can also put cardboard under these. I didn't realize that until more recently when a shop suggested it. So these don't have cardboard under them, but it would definitely make it a lot easier. The shape of the vest I'm doing right now for this chef themed vest. Basically what you need is a center panel. So I just wrote mid panel on this. As you can see, this would be the center panel, and then you would have two side panels. And if you wanted zippers, then cutting them all out would make it a lot easier. But if you didn't want zippers, then you could technically not cut them all out. My embroidery machine is not that big, so if you were doing it on an embroidery machine, that wouldn't work as well. But if you're doing like patches or something, then I have the side panel, and then you need another one of these. You need the back of the vest. And the reason why, and I'll show you this right here, I don't usually put anything on the back of the mid panel, but I do put the back on the side panels because I'm doing pockets. If you're not doing pockets, it's not really necessary unless you like a thicker vest, which you can do other things as well if you want to have that. But yeah, I just cut it out, and this will be the back of my pocket. Explaining aside, we are going to get started on. I'm going to start on the vest order that I have and stitch it out, and then I'll show you cut out the panels and sew them all up. Full tool is tailor's chalk. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones, but basically chalk that you can use on fabric. And the reason why is these are really nice. There's different colors in here that you can go ahead and draw around the fabric. As you can see here, you can see a little bit of the white I used on this with the tailor's chalk. It just really helps be able to trace your vest shape, cut it out, and then usually when I'm doing vests, this will end up getting covered, so you won't even see it. But technically, you can either wipe it off, or when you wash it, it will come off, so it's not permanent. Recently saw a video on doing zippers with this water soluble tape, and I've been doing them with just using what are they using, like regular clips, but I want to try out this because I think it's going to make it a lot easier. Let's go over the supplies that you need to make a vest. First, you need fabric. You can either have it embroidered out, or you can just do you can use Velcro. I suggest using the soft side because most companies, when selling patches, they will sell them with the pokey, I forget what it's called, like the barbed side. So you want to have the opposite so they will stick. You don't have to do this. I do webbing on the outside of my vest. Technically, you could just like fold this over and stitch it like that. But I do webbing just because it makes it a lot easier and it gives it a really nice look and finish at the end. Last thing you need, other than thread and bobbins and all the sewing stuff part, is something for the back of the vest. You can either use just regular fabric. This I'm doing on canvas just because it's thicker. And then I do fox leather on the back. It is more expensive. I think it makes the quality of the vest go up, but it's not necessarily like something you have to do. I like it because, like I said, the quality is really nice, but also dog fur doesn't stick. Now, if you are using like the webbing with the fox leather with some thick fabric, you might need to buy a thicker sewing needle. I am using the Janome denim needle, that's 16. My machine is just a Janome. It's actually a really old machine. I am shocked that it works with what I'm doing with it, but it does. So if anyone's asking what machine you use for sewing, I just use whatever I have. So as long as you get like a thick needle, then you should be good. As for the foot, I just use a regular foot, and then I just recently bought a zipper foot because somehow I was doing it with just this foot, and the zipper foot just makes a game changer. My little zipper foot right here. I'm just using dual duty all-purpose black thread because I'm going to be doing black webbing and I want to be able to hide that. And then I just got a bobbin ready, and so we're gonna get started. So now I trimmed my zippers to the right length, and I have to use a lighter so they don't fray. Make sure you do have proper ventilation when you do this, because when you're burning webbing or zipper stuff, it actually is toxic. So do it outside or open some windows. Tape on there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and attach the side panel on to the zipper and stitch it up. I stitched out, I did 2 lines here, as you can see. I don't know, I like the tape that I put on, but it also made my fingers very sticky, so I'm unsure about it. It definitely is a lot easier than the clipping it though. So I stitched out both of these, and now I need to attach the center panel and the pockets, which usually I do at the same time. What I do is I attach the end of the back pocket with the end of the zipper, and then I add this on top. To change my mind, I'm going to do the back pocket before I do the center panel, so I went ahead and took off the tape on this side, stitched it out. If that works, then I'll do it on the same other side, and then I'll put the tape back on and do the middle panel. So as you can see, I stitched that together, and now I'm going to go ahead and put the tape back on and add the center panel right there. I attached this side, and then I went ahead and sewed the back to this, and now I just need to put these two together, and then it is ready for the final touch. This is all together now. All I need to do is, sometimes the backing of the pocket is like a little too large, so I have to go ahead and trim that up so that it's the same length as the front. And then I'm going to cut out. What I do is I'll lay this out and trace the shape of the vest onto it with my chalk, and then I will sew that on, and then I'll add webbing, and then I also forgot, then after that, then I add straps with buckles. So I'm lining this up with the back of the fox leather, that's the front, and then I'm going to go ahead and trace it with this, and then I'll cut it out. So here is the traced out image of the vest shape. And I'm gonna use my trusty tool. This just makes things go a lot faster. You could use regular scissors. These are just like sewing shears. They're very sharp. I'm just gonna line it up and put it on top of fox leather. And this is where these come really in handy. I'm gonna go ahead and clip around the whole vest, stitch it out, and then I'll add webbing next. So I put them all along the whole vest, and it's ready. Okay, so it's sewed around. Basically what I did was I sew like this strip, leave out the area where the zipper is, just because that's kind of a pain to sew over because it has metal. But yeah, and then I'll do webbing next, and then it will be almost ready. So I got all the webbing on, I put all these little clips around it, and then I left this end up just in case when I go around and I take all of them off. Sometimes that needs to be changed up a little bit, but other than that, it's ready to be stitched up. So I still need to trim up some threads, but the border, the webbing is on. I just need to add straps. Straps, I need 2 buckles, 2 tri-glides, I don't know what they're called, something like that, and webbing. There's 1-inch webbing, and then obviously 1-inch buckles. You can tell my desk has gone quite messy, but that's just the life of a crafter. So this end of the buckle, I don't know, they probably have names, but it's gonna go on that side. Same with this one. This one will be right here, and that one's over there, and then these 2 will be on the other side. The thing we do is we put the webbing through the tri-glide. Take this side with the little pokies, and you're gonna add it to the same webbing as that ring. What was it called? Tri-glide. So now that you have them both on the same webbing, you're going to take this and you're going to go through the back of the tri-glide. So if you measured your dog ahead of time and you knew exactly what the measurements were, you could take both of these ends and sew them onto the vest like this. But because this is an order that I'm doing, I'm gonna sew only the long end and leave this one off so that they can measure their dog and cut off any excess, because I'm just gonna leave these really long. You're just gonna do that same thing as this with the second webbing and the second buckle. Remember to keep the webbing from fraying. Make sure you are using a lighter on the end. Take a small amount of webbing and add it to the buckle like this. I can't show you like that. These ones, I usually sew it on the machine just to sew the 2 pieces together, and then I'll add it to the vest. Now I pin it right where I want it. I'm gonna put it right on the very corner, a little bit farther toward the straight part of the vest. Okay, so for this buckle, I'm gonna just put it on kind of around the same, so it's kind of like on the corner, but a little above the corner. And I do it on the underneath so that you don't see. Okay, so now for these long buckles, I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna sew on just this one part to the top, kind of in the same area, like right about there-ish. So I trimmed up threads, sewed on all the buckles, and it is finished. Now I'm just gonna go take photos. So starting with the center panel, I'm gonna take this paper and I'm gonna line it as best as I can over the capybaras and try to make it even. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my chalk, which I already misplaced, and go around all the outside edges, and then I can kind of see it. It's very light, which isn't a bad thing, just in case you want to wash it off, but this is what it looks like. I'm just going to go ahead and take my handy dandy cutting tool and use this to cut it out.